Whoa now, whoa now, whoa now. Welcome back to the Black Elf and your boy, Brother Kush. Look, on this video, I want to do something different. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I want to talk about this fight the other night. Last night, actually. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrance Bud Crawford. This is a very interesting thing, man, because for years, I've been at odds with so-called black YouTube channels that try to build Errol Spence up at the expense of Floyd Mayweather Jr. I never understood why they did that. For those that don't know, when Errol Spence was new to the pro division, Floyd had just came out of doing a little 40 day jail time, whatever he did, right? And he was getting ready for a fight. And they brought Errol Spence in. You know, he was new to the pro rankings. They brought him in to spar with Floyd. They had a good session. Floyd was out of shape. Errol worked him over real good, right? Helped get him in shape, which is what your sparring partner is supposed to do. After the sparring session, Floyd challenged Errol to a dog fight. That's when they like cut the time off, and it's basically a brawl session. Now you got to understand, Floyd is just shy of 14 years older than Errol. He's much smaller than Errol. He's naturally a very, very small dude, much smaller than Errol. You know what I'm saying? So you have a dude that's almost 14 years younger, and almost, naturally about 40 pounds lighter. So in a brawl session, you would expect the younger, bigger dude to just blow over the older guy. But Errol gets this mythology surrounding him because he was able to hang with Floyd. And now all these people talking about what he did to Floyd, man, he beat Floyd, it's crazy. And I've been going back and forth with the Ldbc in particular for years till I stopped listening to the dudes. I actually stopped listening to their channels because the amount of Floyd hate was just crazy. They can't stand Floyd, but they all talk about how they there for the black fighters and to get the black fighters a fair shake and all that stuff, man. Y'all just like white folks, bro. Y'all pick and choose who y'all like and why y'all like. I mean, it's the same thing. But since I can't troll all the Ldbc channels, I'm not really good at trolling. I decided to make a video talking about this stuff. Because for years, I said that if Errol and Floyd were the same size, same age, say at Floyd's prime, which is 130, 135, Floyd would dog walk him. They called me crazy. They got mad at me. Oh, I'm a casual. I'm a Floyd. It's Floyd fanboy, Floyd, or they got all these crazy names for people, right? You know what I'm saying? And they called me all kinds of things. So what happens is, last night comes, Errol Spence get in the ring with a pure boxer, like I said, who he can't hit one time and hurt. Barely can hit him at all, like I said, because he's a pure boxer. And the pure boxer can punch. Now you gotta remember, Floyd had bad hands. By the time he and Errol sparred, Floyd's hands were bad. Floyd had to learn a sweet spot in the way he punched, where he could punch hard enough to get your respect without hurting himself. To punch hard enough to kind of sting you without hurting himself. Terrance Crawford don't have bad hands. He could punch you into oblivion. So now what you see happen is what you see behind me on the screen. You got Floyd and Gotti up top. Pure boxer versus a brawler. You got Jerron Boots Ennis. That fight just happened about a month ago, if that. And Roman Villa. Pure boxer versus brawler. And you got Terrance Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. right there. Pure boxer versus brawler. Similar fighting styles, same exact results. In each of these situations, the pure boxer beat the dog shit out of the brawler. Beat him so bad they could have got arrested. If it wasn't a professional contest, they could have arrested Floyd for that ass whooping he put on Gotti. They could have arrested Jerron Boots Ennis for that ass whooping he put on Villa. And they could have arrested Terrance Crawford for the ass whooping he put on Spence. And I got to make this clear. This is not a jab at Spence. You know what I'm saying? This is not a jab at Spence. But before I get into that part about Spence, I want you to hear what Antonio Tarver had to say about all this here. Listen to Antonio Tarver.
Radio Raw here with Antonio Tarver, one of the few people who has been in this rarefied air before. What did you see tonight?
I saw a fighter that's on a real elite level. smart fighter, a complete fighter that knows his way around the ring. I was so impressed the way he controlled the whole fight. I'm befuddled by what I saw from Spence. Didn't have no answers. It didn't seem like he had no answers defensively, or didn't have the ability to make an adjustment and do what he needed to do to stay in this fight. But the way he went about this fight, the result, the domination, the knockdowns and the knockout, and the stoppage, it was just a beautiful fight, a beautiful executed fight by Terrance Crawford, and it didn't look like they were in the same class of fighters.
No,
He made this tough fight very easy.
Very
I gotta be honest, bro. They crowning these guys trainers of the year and all this stuff, but we don't. What are we? Come on, bro. This man wasn't prepared for no Terrance Bud Crawford tonight, and the trainer got to take some flack for that. It's his responsibility too to have his fighter ready. Man ain't had nothing about no defense, no head movement, no feints. Didn't have his hands up, feet all everywhere, bruh. Where's the lessons?
Now, I wanted you to hear Antonio Tarver saying that because this has been my criticism of Spence for years. I know a lot of people think that I'm a Spence fan because I was critical of Crawford. I just didn't see. Crawford hadn't fought nobody to show me where all this praise that he was getting was coming from. Now, that was true. His resume was lax. He hadn't fought anybody, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I didn't know. So now we see that it really don't matter who you put it because there's levels to this stuff. You know, I mean, you're not going to put a brawler in there with Crawford and he's going to do well with Crawford. It takes a boxer. Crawford's toughest fights were with boxers. His easiest fights were with brawlers. You know what I'm saying? And Spence didn't even fight the way he should have fought. After that second round, when he got knocked down, he really should have went into the winky right high guard type thing, right? And walked forward, just walk forward behind his high guard till he got close and just start landing shots, you know what I'm saying? That's what he should have did. No, he kept trying to box with the superior boxer. But you know why? Because people like them dudes in the Ldbc pumped him up and made him think that he was a better boxer than he actually is. They made him believe, because he listened to all this stuff. He believed in his mind that he was actually as good of a boxer as Floyd Mayweather Jr. And he's nowhere near as good of a boxer as Floyd was. Nowhere as near. If he and Floyd was the same size, just like you see behind me, what Floyd did to Gotti, and that was at 140. That was a man that was the same size as Floyd. You see what Floyd did him, but he was a brawler. Roman Villa, he's a big dude at 147, down there with Jerron Boots Ennis at 147. Boots beat the brakes off of Roman. Beat the brakes off him, bro. Because he's a come-forward fighter versus an actual pure boxer. These are stylistic matchup nightmares. So when Antonio Tarver said that they could have prepared Spence better, there was nothing they could have prepared him to do but get in the high guard and walk forward and get through there. What Floyd did when he came out of retirement in 2 years to fight Conor McGregor, Conor McGregor, that UFC crossover fight, the first one, right? When Floyd realized that, because he didn't really train for the fight, he had been off for 2 years, he didn't train for the fight, it was a money grab. So when Floyd realized in that first round when McGregor caught him with that counter uppercut, he's like, oh, okay, my timing off, I am a little rusty, I haven't been in the ring, I haven't really been training, but what I do know is I can hurt this dude. That's what I do know. I do know how to systematically break a fighter down. I know how to take their gas tank away from him. Floyd used this. So what Floyd did, he put the high guard up and walked. That's what you do when you are faced with a dude that's going to outbox you and outmaneuver you. Conor McGregor was going to outmaneuver Floyd for 12 rounds and beat him. And Floyd realized that by the second round. By the second round, he realized that. So he started coming in. Real quick thinking. Floyd didn't continue to try to outbox him because Floyd realized I'm rusty. It's not there. I'm not going to outbox this dude tonight because, you know, he's younger than me. He's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he still can move well. You know, I'm older. I'm slower. You know, I mean, I'm not going to outbox him. So Floyd went in high guard and walked him down. That's called ring IQ. That's called boxing intelligence. Spence has none. He fights off of basic brutish instincts. And that's the problem. And that's what's been getting him by all these years, mauling these people and fighting with these people. I watched that fight with Sean Porter, and I said, man, that, I don't know why them dudes keep talking about what Spence would do Floyd. Neither one of these dudes would beat Floyd. And what happened when both of them fought Crawford? Crawford stopped both of them. Because that type of brawling style cannot match with a boxer, especially a boxer puncher. About 2 weeks ago, I left a comment on one of these dudes' channel, right? And I said, man, one of the problems I foresee that Spence is going to have is that Crawford seemed like he don't have to load up on his punches to hurt you. Seems like he has real natural power that he can just throw from short distances, you know what I'm saying? Like you seen him catch and shoot. Spence threw a punch, Crawford caught it, and with that same hand, he came around and just from there, right there, bam, and hit him and hurt him. I said, man, Crawford, like he just let his hands go and hurt you. Oh man, so the Spence fanatics coming at me sideways. Oh man, you just a Crawford fanboy. I get accused of being a Crawford fanboy by the Spence fanatics. I get accused of being a Spence fanboy by the Crawford fanatics. Y'all got problems, but y'all need to become men. Real men are not fanboys of nobody. I was in here clapping for Crawford when he won, and I picked Spence to win. I didn't know, I had never seen Crawford really fight top level competition, not to be honest, especially not at 147. His whole resume at 147 is sketchy at best. But what you see is that because of the way he fight, it really didn't matter because, let's be honest, Spence is nothing but a B+ level fighter anyway. That's why he got beat up so bad. Crawford is actually elite level. He's A+ level fighter. He's real good at everything he does in the ring. And Spence is a B+, B- fighter at best. That's why they didn't look like they was in the same class of fighter, because they're not in the same class of fighter. And this is the same thing that Floyd Mayweather used to talk about all the time. Like when they ask him about these other fighters, he said, I don't see nothing special about the dude. There was nothing special about Spence. He was just come for, he relied on being able to walk you down, cut the ring off, and hurt you to the body. But if you can keep the distance and give him different looks, go in sometime, come out sometime, counter punch sometime, be first sometime, jab sometime, you know what I'm saying? Just give him different looks. He got one look he can do. That's why Tarver said he didn't seem like he didn't have any adjustments, because he don't really make adjustments. He fights how he fights. And that's the problem. And he will lose again if they fight again. I don't know what he think, so he didn't make excuses, but he hinted that like something was off with him or without. He can say what he want. He ain't beating Crawford. It's the style of it. Spence have always reached with his punches. He ain't just start doing that. And that's something where I agree with I have to agree with Antonio Tarver. That's something that should have been corrected in the gym. He's always reached with them punches. He throw a punch out and reach, but he jab with his left, but he reach when you don't put your hand out front. You don't have your feet behind you. You know what I'm saying? You bring your feet with you. Your feet got to stay up under you. You don't ever be out in front of your feet like that. You don't have your legs all wide and off balance and stuff like that. Like Tarver said, his feet was everywhere. These are the so-called fundamentals that the Ldbc all bragged about Spence having. He got great fundamentals. He's the Tim Duncan of boxing. He got great fundamentals. No, he don't. He was just able to maul these dudes that he's been fighting because none of those dudes were cerebral, pure boxers. And had that been Jerron Boots in his last night instead of Terrance Crawford, the same result would have happened. Especially if Ennis would have fought from the left-hand position, from the southpaw position. Because that's what Crawford did. Crawford decided to take away his jab. He going to fight him southpaw with southpaw. See, that's the benefit of being able to fight from both stances. So Crawford came out in southpaw and fought from southpaw because he said, I'm gonna take away his best thing. You know what I'm saying? And plus now, Crawford's dominant hand is his jab hand. So now he's hitting Spence with jabs that are like hooks, busting his face up. I mean, hitting him so hard the jab, he making him dizzy, busting him up. Plus, we seen Spence is not as durable as he thought it was. It's another thing. They asked Spence a question about a week ago, will you be able to take his power? And Spence said, yeah, I'll be able to take his power. See, that wasn't an answer. Floyd would have said, I don't plan on letting him hit me. You know what I'm saying? That's what Floyd would have said. I'm not planning on letting him hit me. You know? I'm not worried about taking his power because I ain't letting him hit me like that. If he hit me, he ain't gonna never hit me clean. Because they looking to roll punches and stuff like this here. And that's how Crawford fight. He's looking to roll a punch. So if you hit him, he's looking to roll with it a little bit, take some steam off it. So you get a punch in, but you ain't getting no solid punches. Spence hit him a few times, but never a solid punch. Plus, if you notice, Spence couldn't really hurt Crawford with any of them punches. He couldn't hurt him. First of all, Crawford had already took the gas out of the tank in the second round. The fight was basically over in the second. That knockdown Crawford hit him with, that hurt Spence. That hurt Spence. I don't know what y'all was talking about. They called it a flash knockdown. Even Crawford said it was kind of a flash knockdown. No, it wasn't. You hurt him. I can tell, bro. You hurt him. So the fight was really over in the second. But here's the thing I've been saying for the longest. Again, I didn't pick Crawford to win the fight because I hadn't seen enough from him. I just didn't. The praise was undue, and I still stand on that the praise was undue. Now the praise is justified. Now whatever you say about him is justified. Now if you say he's one of the best pure boxers ever to lace him up, yes, it's justified. One of the greatest boxers of this time period, you know what I'm saying, right along with Floyd Mayweather, it's justified. Now all that's justified. But you couldn't justify that based on Green Machine and Gamboa and you know, you couldn't base that off of the people that he had fought previously. Now you can base that, you know what I'm saying? But truth be told, again, Spence is just a B+ fighter or B- fighter at best. So you really can't base it off him either. If Crawford was to fight Jerron Boots Ennis, that will be the actual test to see how good of a fighter he really is. That will be his test, Boots. Because Boots is a cerebral fighter like Crawford. Boots is a switch hitter fighter like Crawford. Boots is a counterpuncher, a go forward, a different look fighter like Crawford. Boots gonna give you everything just like Crawford. In that fight with Roman Villa, Boots was trying to press the gas and his daddy say, not yet. Not yet. Keep boxing right now. I'm gonna tell you when to go get him. So these are cerebral fighters, you know what I'm saying? And that will be his biggest test. But I was about to say is though, I just didn't see enough in Crawford. So I picked Spence. But one of the things that I've always said is that when Spence move up to 154, and God forbid if he go to 160, he will get beat. I said he's not beating nobody at 160, and he's not beating most of them at 154. I'd never seen him as being the special fighter that y'all seen him as being. And again, this is no shade of Spence. I was pulling for him. I've never seen him as being a special fighter y'all seen him as being. But Crawford, he's just an ornery ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a real stubborn dude, wants everything his way, you know. He was willing to walk away from that fight. Spence made this fight happen. Don't get it twisted. Crawford didn't care if the fight didn't happen. Now he cares. I think now he understands the favor that Spence did for him, especially when he see that paycheck come on the back end from the residuals based on the pay-per-view. He's going to understand the favor that Spence did for him because he's about to make more money off this fight than he's ever made in his whole career combined. Just off this one fight. Because he finally fought somebody that the public recognized as top-level competition. Although Spence really wasn't top-level competition. He's a brawler. He's a bruiser. And as you see by this thing behind my head, similar fighting styles, exact same results. Bruisers will get beat by pure boxers every time. Boxer punches will beat up bruisers every time. Every time. So Spence got a long road ahead of him. My advice is that he really should retire. He got a good excuse. He got a built-in excuse. The car accidents, the layoffs. He made some good money. He got a great excuse to just stop. You know what I'm saying? He should just hang it up. Because going forward, who he's going to beat at 54? He might not beat Tim Tszyu. I mean, who's going to beat at 54? Castano already beat him twice in once or twice in the amateurs. He might not be able to beat Castano. I mean, who is he going to beat at 54? So, you know, and he ain't beat nobody at 60. In fact, he might even try to go to 60. But they want to compare him to Floyd, who went up 5 weight classes. Floyd, who walked in the ring against dudes weighing 20 pounds, 25 pounds more than him, and fought these dudes and outboxed them. That dude. They want to compare Spence to that dude just because he was in a brawl session with him doing training, you know what I'm saying, and was able to hold his own against a smaller, older man. Whoop-de-doo. He didn't hold his own against a same size, younger dude, same size, same age dude. They 2 years apart. He didn't hold his own with a dude that's the same age, same size. He didn't hold his own now. He got thrashed in there. So Ldbc, for years, y'all around here praising Spence like he's this great boxer. Y'all did the same thing with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder pursued Terrance, Tyson Fury, sued him and everything else to get them fights, only to get knocked down. Y'all made up excuse that they got knocked out the first time. Came up with all these conspiracy theories, and he walked in the ring, got knocked out again, got mad at me. See, this is one of the reasons why I stopped listening to the Ldbc channels, because after Wilder Fury 2, when Wilder got knocked out, I was the one going around telling them the results gonna be the same. Oh man, they called me all kinds of haters. Coons, I was a coon, I was a sellout, you know, white people lover, all kinds of stuff, man. Only because I said the results gonna be the same. Because I'm looking at the stylistic matchup here. I'm looking at how the two fighters go about fighting. Wilder's a one-trick pony. And his one trick is not gonna work against Fury. That was evident. Fury was good for 1 or 2 of those punches per fight. And he wasn't going to let Wilder get no more than 1 or 2 of those punches per fight. So if Wilder wasn't going to be able to land no more than 1 or 2 per fight, and Fury was good for those 1 or 2, then Fury's going to eventually beat him up and stop him. The second and third fights went almost identical. The only difference is Wilder was stretched out on his back in the third one, whereas they threw in the towel on the second. Well, take this fight. Yes, it's true. Spence had to chase Crawford to get this fight. It's true. Crawford was all over the board, contradicting himself, running, doing all kinds of little fake shit. I mean, he's still a funny ass dude. I mean, I would never be a Crawford fan because I don't like his character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, although he's like he got a split personality. Some parts of him seem like he's real cool, and other parts seem strange. So I don't really know what's going on inside the world of Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But that's not for me to pick. All I can tell you is it's true. Spence chased him to make this fight. Spence ran after him. Spence conceded to everything he could possible concede to get this fight. But the truth of the matter is Spence believed that he was something that he wasn't. He actually believed that he was something that he wasn't. Crawford looked so cool in that fight. So calm. So relaxed. I mean, he knew by the end of the second round, he knew that Spence just wasn't going to be able to do nothing with him. That he was just going to beat him up until he stopped him. And then he took his time. You notice he had Spence hurt a few times. He didn't even jump on him. He kind of went at him in after that last knockdown. That last knockdown was brutal, man. Had him all in the ropes. He went after him then. But I mean, before that time, you know what I'm saying, Spence get up, he just kept boxing him. He just went back to boxing him. Sure, I mean, that's Floyd Mayweather. Look, and I was one that was saying he ain't no Floyd, but that was some Floyd Mayweather type shit there, bro. That's the kind of stuff you seen in Floyd. Floyd got them dudes hurt, man, knocked him down. Floyd went right back to boxing him. He didn't just go out there and start wailing on him, jumping on him and stuff, going, nah, he just kept boxing, kept doing what he do. Because Floyd was like, hey, man, it don't matter if it's a 12-round fight to me. I just got to get the W. I'm not in here necessarily to knock. Plus, Floyd had bad hands. So I'm not in here necessarily to knock him out. I just want to get the W. So Floyd will go ahead and go about his business, the way he went about his business, you know what I'm saying? And Crawford did the same thing. He went about his business, methodically. He just broke him down, gave him different looks, different styles. Stayed in the southpaw position, you know what I'm saying, which would be like this here. He stayed in the southpaw position, but he in, out, hand up, to block, to block that jab, to parry that jab, you know what I'm saying? Stiff jabs and stuff. You know what I mean? He just beat Errol up. Errol had no head movement, like Antonio Tarver said. Head stayed on the line the whole time. I mean, what the fundamentals are. Well, I mean, what the fundamentals at, bro? You LDBC dudes talked all this crap for all these years. Y'all pumped up Errol Spence like he's the best damn boxer in the world. The dude was always a subpar boxer. He's a good fighter. That's what he is. He is a good fighter, a subpar boxer. Well, you see how y'all bugs Mikey Garcia? Yeah, I mean, because, you know, that's just stylistic stuff, man. This is style make fights. You know, style make fights. You know, Mikey Garcia. You know, I mean, I never seen him as a great boxer either. You know what I'm saying? He just beat dudes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was good at what he did. He got in there and just beat dudes. You know, but Mikey Garcia was never no Terrance Crawford type fighter, no Jerron Boots Ennis type fighter, no Floyd Mayweather Jr. type fighter. He wasn't just them kind of fighters. No Sugar Ray Leonard type fighter. You know, no Evander Holyfield type fighter. No, he just wasn't this type of fighter. So yeah, he outboxed Mikey Garcia, but Mikey Garcia wasn't that type of boxer. He was a good boxer, you know what I'm saying, but he wasn't an elite boxer. And neither was Spence. Spence is not an elite boxer. He's a good fighter, which is why he didn't win the Olympics. Y'all got to remember that. Now, you can say, well, Crawford didn't even make the Olympics. Yeah, he didn't. But you never know. Crawford, I mean, obviously he learned a lot. Obviously he studied a lot since then. He's perfected his craft. Because right now, the way Crawford looked, I mean, before I was laughing about the idea of him fighting Jermell Charlo. Now I'm like, that there's a possibility he can outbox Charlo at 54. There's a strong possibility because Charlo don't move like Crawford move. He don't fight like that either. So I mean, can Crawford take them punches from him like that? I mean, I don't know. So anyway, I just really wanted to put that out there because the LDBC, you know, y'all talked all this crap all these years, and now, you know, y'all look like fools. The dude that y'all built up and try to big up at the expense of one of the best period boxers to ever lace him up, Floyd Mayweather Jr. The dude y'all built up off of his name in a mythical sparring session that nobody really can corroborate. The people that were there never say that he just beat Floyd up like that. You know, nobody says that. That's something y'all add to the story all the time. You know what I'm saying? So the guy that y'all built up, he just got embarrassed in the worst way in front of the whole world. And this is the age of the internet. Those images, just like Tyson Fury beating up Deontay Wilder, Wilder stretched out on his back, going down like a zombie and shit. These images are going to be online forever. Forever. So this dude that y'all built up, he just got exposed in the worst way. And again, this is not no jab at Spence, man, because I like Spence, you know. I think Spence is a real dude. I think he's a solid brother. But he was just never the boxer that he thought he was. He's the fighter. He is a fighter. He was never the boxer he thought he was. I never seen it. So when I picked Spence to win, it wasn't because I was high on Spence. It's because I was unsure of Crawford. That's what it was. And Crawford showed me that, no, next time, be sure. And I will. So anyway, man, this is a little life lesson, man, about being a fan of somebody. You know, look, being a fanatic is not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Being a fanboy is not a good thing. You know, we don't get paid. You know, us as spectators, we're not paid to play the sports that we're spectating, that we're watching. There's no need to be online talking about we did that, we won, we ain't do shit. I'm not fighting. You know, my face ain't all beat up and shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have those millions coming to my bank account tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not a we thing. That was them. So I'm not a fan of nobody. I watch sports, you know, to be entertained by the activity of the sports. But for me, it's always been may the best man, woman, or person win. It's always been that way. You know what I'm saying? It's always been that way. I never really cared. You know, I mean, I might have my pick who I think will win, but who wins, wins. You know, I don't lose no sleep. I slept well last night. I picked Spence, but I slept well. In fact, after Crawford stopped him, I was clapping. I was cheering for Crawford, just like I'd have been cheering for Spence if he stopped Crawford. I mean, it is what it is, you know. The thing is to see a fight, you know. But the only thing I'm disappointed about is that it wasn't even a good fight. It was as hard to watch as was Gotti Mayweather, as was Roman Villa and Jerron Boots Ennis, as was Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The only reason why I didn't put Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder on a thumbnail is because Wilder's not necessarily a come forward fighter. He's not a bruiser, right? He's not a brawler. He's just a puncher. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't put that up there. But I mean, still same results. That fight, the second and third fights, Fury and Wilder were hard to watch, bro. I mean, you'd be traumatized watching somebody beat somebody up that bad. You know, you need therapy after watching that shit, bro. So, you know, don't be a fanboy. Be your own man. You know what I'm saying? You know, stop trying to live through these other people. Stop trying to lie for these people and big these people because you're not helping them. Spence has been listening to these Ldbc channels for years. Pump up his skills, pump him up, make him feel like he's bigger than he is, make him feel like he's better than he is. Now he's just been exposed. In fact, I think Pacquiao knew it. I think Pacquiao knew it. Pacquiao didn't take that Spence fight because he didn't think he'd win. Pacquiao has never taken a fight he couldn't win. Except for Floyd, he didn't want that fight. If y'all know the true history behind Pacquiao and Floyd, Floyd had to chase Pacquiao down for that fight. Pacquiao never really wanted that fight. He was good with having his name attached to Floyd, but he never really wanted that fight because he never really thought he can beat Floyd. He wasn't scared of Floyd. He just think that professionally, skill for skill, he didn't think that he was going to be able to beat Floyd, and he was right. Fight wasn't even close, right? But it was way better than this fight. At least they fought, you know. But I mean, I think Pacquiao seen that. I think he recognized that, damn, but you know what? This dude can't move. He's plotting. You know what I'm saying? He plot forward. You know what I'm saying, man? I piece him up. I think Pacquiao knew it. I think Pacquiao can punch. I think Pacquiao figured I'll stop Spence. And now, in hindsight, I'm not so sure if Pacquiao wouldn't have stopped him. Anyway, man, this been my little departure from my normal videos. You know what I'm saying? So, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with my normal stuff later. Till next time, I'm out of here. I'm Brother Kush, a.k.a. the Black Elk. Salaam.